Hey there, John Opinion Sports. And today, I feel good. The draft is almost upon us, and that's when I start to think about trades. Actually, I got the idea from this video from watching a John Mayer interview, and he kind of was talking about maybe he should have traded some of the, Landon Collins, Dalvin Tomlinson, some of the players. Maybe should have traded them instead of holding on to them. So that's what gave me the idea for a few players that we could trade right around the draft. But anyways, the Giants have a few players that they're going to have to make a decision on soon. So I'm going to throw some names at, and we'll talk it through. Of course, I'm going to start with, Giants fan favorite punching bag, Evan Ingram. I know it's going to be probably a day of celebration in the Giants community when Ingram is off the team. I hate it's come to that. He's a good kid. It's just hard for me seeing Ingram getting a long-term contract, here with the Giants in New York. First, I don't think he's a scheme fit. And secondly, I don't see how he could prove himself, with all his past injuries and just his downright awful play he's had here. The Giants just have too many tight ends on the roster as it is. Kyle Rudolph signed a decent 2-year contract. Toilola just restructured, so I think he's going to be here. And, most of us Giants fans, we've wanted Caden Smith to get more playing time for years now, 2 years now. I think this offense will be fine without Evan Ingram. Now, it's only reports, but there was a buzz at teams were, calling the Giants about Evan Ingram last season. And there are reports that some teams that even offered as much as a second-round pick. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, they should have just took it. If the Giants can get at least a 4th-round pick for Ingram, this upcoming, right around the time the draft is here, I support it. The only thing I can think is Gettleman thinks he's going to get a comp pick, when Ingram leaves. But, if you're sure that you're not bringing back a player, you should always look to get a pick for them. The players know. They know it's a business. And, that pick is going to give the players on the team the best chance to win that year. Honestly, I hate to say this because I was excited when we first drafted him, but I think the Giants should look to move Ingram. Just give him a new start and a new system where he can flourish possibly, and we get a pick to improve the team. If the Giants decide not to move on from Ingram, then maybe we should, take a look at Caden Smith. I like Caden, but at this point, like I was saying before, we have way too many tight ends on the roster, and there's a ton of young, relatively unheard of tight ends on the roster as well that I'd like to get a look at. Because at this point, they have no chance of competing, at the moment, with this crowded tight end room. So ultimately, I'd like the Giants to make a trade, either move Evan Ingram or Caden Smith. Anyways, tell me which one you guys would rather keep. Let me know in the comments, or do you want to keep both? Maybe, that's a possibility as well. Anyways, there's a couple other players that instantly come to mind when I think of trades. Will Hernandez is definitely top of my list, other than Ingram. It's his last year on a deal, and like Ingram, he just hasn't earned his second contract, in my opinion. Now, I wouldn't be upset, if they do extend him for a contract like $2 million, $2.5 million, but he's going to get at least twice that on the open market. We just can't give this guy, $6, $7, $8 million. The Giants draft a guard in the first 2 rounds. I'd hope Gettleman would look to move Hernandez. The only reason I can even think of to keep him is, it buys you one more year of not having to address guard. But ultimately, I think we need to go that route in the draft. Now, the other player that instantly came to mind when I was thinking about trades was B.J. Hill. Very similar to Hernandez. I actually think that B.J. Hill is a better player to his position than Hernandez is to his. The problem is the Giants might have the best 3-tech duo in the NFL with Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence. So B.J. is going to be in a reserve role. Now, I think he should be starting somewhere. If I'm a GM of a team, I'd have no problem giving the Giants a 3rd or 4th round pick for B.J. Hill. I just wouldn't. He's really good. Honestly, the first year that Leonard Williams was traded to the Giants, B.J. Hill outplayed him. Better everything. Now, obviously, when Leonard got here, he got all the snaps, but, you look at the grades and what they were both doing, B.J. was better than him that first year. I'd love to keep him and pay him, but then you'd have to move on from Dexter, and I'm not doing that. Dexter needs to be a Giant here for a long time. So, just like Hernandez, I think BJ will fetch that 6, 7, 8 million on the market range, and we can't pay a backup defensive tackle that. I'd look to move him. We have plenty of depth on the interior D-line. You know, we just got Danny Shelton. Austin Johnson's coming back. R.J. McIntosh is a very talented defensive tackle, and he's been sitting here for years not be able to get on the field. And obviously, with all the picks in the draft, you can add more depth at the end of the draft. Another player I thought of was Julian Love. You know, just because we're so deep at corner and safety, I like Julian, but it's going to be tough for him to just get, you know, any kind of real extensive playing time on the field. Another is Isaac Yiadom. Same reason, you know, I would trade him Julian Love. Just we have a bunch of young players on the team that I want to see. I think we can safely say Yiadom and Love ain't going to be, like, nothing better than depth players on this roster. But there could be a team that has a big hole at safety or corner, you know, and if a team gave a decent offer, I'd listen and I'd think about it. You know, two other players that I'm going to mention, and I don't think I would trade these guys during a draft or any point, are Lorenzo Carter and Jabril Peppers. The only way I'd trade Carter is if we take an edge rusher early in the draft, and Carter, like, he just don't look right in training camp. Now, I know Giants fans would flip their shit if Jabril was to get traded. The only way I could see Jabril go is like if Xavier McKinney makes a huge leap in play and like severely outplays Jabril, which I don't see happening. So I'm not interested in trading Lorenzo and Jabril at the moment. They can both help the Giants win this season and should be full-time starters, I think, anyways. That's the only players I could see the Giants, you know, getting any kind of decent picks for. There's definitely a few I'd be shopping if I was Gettleman. Maybe those players don't have the market that I think they would have. I think you could at least get a fourth rounder though for Evan Engram, Hernandez, and B.J. Hill. I do. I honestly do. I think you can at least a fourth. And if the Giants got no plans on re-signing them, why not try and get something in this year's draft? I don't think you're going to get any. I'm not sure. I don't think you're going to get any comp picks for any of them guys. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Do you want any players to be traded? Maybe you think depth is more important than, you know, like a draft pick this year. If so, let me know down in the comments. That's for me. Love y'all. Leave a comment, like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for listening. YouTube is a lot of fun, and my promise to you guys is that I'll keep improving at this, and keep the content coming. Anyways, everybody stay safe out there.